2012, a motion standing on the order paper in the name of Councillor Patricia Stallard, seconded by Councillor Christopher Carter. I'm going to call Councillor Stallard now, and after she has finished, I'll invite the seconder as to whether he wishes to reserve his speech or indeed make a seconding speech at that stage. Councillor Stallard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I should like to start off by reminding members that the last time the subject of water fluoridation was debated in this chamber was as long ago as November 2008, when there was almost unanimous agreement, I believe there was one abstention, that this council would not support the fluoridation of water supplies being proposed for Southampton and South West Hampshire. Despite that recommendation, NHS chiefs agreed the scheme in 2009. However, Public Health England and Southern Water have yet to finalise their proposals, although Public Health England have stated that they remain committed to the implementation of water fluoridation in 2014. When contemplating this issue, members need to be aware of changed and increased healthcare responsibilities for local authorities, as set out in the Health and Social Care Act, effective as from the 1st of April this year, which may give opportunity for the responsible authorities, in this instance Southampton City Council and Hampshire County Council, to scrap the proposals for water fluoridation if they are so minded. Research and debate has continued since this chamber last considered this issue, and it has remained in the public consciousness. For instance, research in 2010 confirms that fluoride can interfere with the biochemistry of the body in fundamental ways. Most developed nations do not fluoridate their water. For example, in Western Europe, only 3% of the population consumes fluoridated water. This is research done by the British Fluoridation Society and evidence published in 2012. Furthermore, there is no difference in tooth decay between Western nations that fluoridate their water and those that do not. And members should note that there is no need to swallow fluoride in order to protect teeth. Fluoridated water operates on tooth surfaces. In the mouth, it creates low levels of fluoride in saliva, which reduces the rate at which tooth enamel demineralizes and increases the rate at which it remineralizes in the early stages of cavities. In addition, recent studies justify concerns about the potential for fluorosis. This is caused when too much fluoride has been ingested during enamel formation, which is just before birth up until the early teens. There are also concerns of osteosarcoma, bone cancer, and skeletal fluorosis. Other issues to be considered are the unknown effects of high doses of fluoride to bottle-fed babies and the implications for the thyroid gland. In the United States, where 64% of the population drink fluoridated water, the second most prescribed drug in 2010 was sodium levothyroxine, which is a drug used to treat an underactive thyroid. The motion before you today will enable this council to decide if its position, as agreed in 2008, remains unchanged, and to inform the Public Health England accordingly, and I commend it to members in the chamber today.
Thank you for that, Councillor Stallard. You have a seconder, I understand. Councillor Carter, do you wish to formally second? And either speak or reserve your speech.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, yes, I formally second the motion as set out on the order paper, and I reserve my right to speak later in the debate. Thank you, Chairman.
I'm going to call the leader.
Yes, on the point of order, Mr. Chairman, and I have to say to members with a measure of reluctance on my part, I'm going to invite Councillor Mr. Stallard and Councillor Carter to withdraw the motion. Since the motion was proposed, the Council has taken legal advice and indeed has sought Council's opinion to seek what and how we can deal with this. The situation materially has changed since we last debated the matter in this council chamber. At that time, we were simply consultees. We were giving our opinion, which we were entitled to do, and we gave it pretty emphatically. Now, under the new legislation of both the Waters Act and the Health and Social Care Act, we become the responsible authority. And therefore it is very important that we do not